This is Public Access Lost Transmissions Part 8. We are down Rob this week. Seems like every player is taking a taking a week to be gone. Um, which means we do not have Zachary, but that's okay because we will press forward nevertheless. Let's talk about kind of what happened last time, for Michael's sake especially, but just to be reminded. So big picture, the Deep Lake Lurker was resolved last time in a really excellent scene where Taylor went to another dimension and talked to a strange, ancient, childlike spirit, and convinced it to stop grabbing playmates, and and a few other things took place as well to satisfy that spirit. In any case, I recommend people go watch it. Maybe more immediately or of more immediate concern is the fact that Harvey Stosky was arrested as well. So Harvey Stosky is no longer on the board as far as that goes. Speaking of our little wolves, another one, Tim Crayley, was also arrested, though not for the murder of Ash. Right now, we've established, Michael, that currently Amber is still the only person who knows what happened to Ash. Amber has not told anyone yet. And so we had an interesting introduction to the new character, Shane, who is Ash's sister. Received some distressing text messages from Ash, came to Deep Lake, came to 26 Rodenbecker Street. All the latchkeys were out. And so, except Tim Crayley answered the door at 26 Rodenbecker Street. He had just done some breaking and entering at the house. And after a little kind of a weird, tense, red flaggy kind of conversation, Tim Crayley attacked Shane. Deputy Torres showed up, and there was a whole kind of thing. Lots of keys were turned. Shane turned a lot of keys last time, pretty well catching Shane up to the group, more or less. And long story short, Tim Crayley is also arrested. But Shane still has not been introduced to the Latchkeys. We have not had a scene where Shane has been brought into the team yet. And so that's a thing that still has to happen. Zachary's not here, but Zachary had a lot of interesting adventures as well. Zachary went out to the desert, found this abandoned missile silo, had kind of a little X-Files episode with FG, and avoided military patrol, got into the silo, discovered that there was a desiccated body tied to a chair, and inside this little control center where there was a VCR, by the way, and the body was trapped. It triggered a dimensional door trap that caused Zachary to be transported into the tunnels beneath Deep Lake, where a sort of dissociated voice of a character calling themselves the Crypt Master led Zachary through a LARP, essentially, of beneath the city. Zachary had to face down a member of the Blackleaf Circle who was only tripped up by the fact that he could not get his somatic and material components for his spell out in time before Zachary could shoulder check him out of the way. And Zachary escaped up into the backyard of Escondido Street. There's an access to the tunnels in Escondido Street, 18 Escondido Street. Watched his pantry girlfriend watching a video of the two of them inside Escondido Street, and then was pulled away by the fact that police were arriving at Rodenbecker Street because of the Tim Crayley situation. And so that's basically what happened. Greetings Travelers is still in play. Zagreus is still in play. Oh, we should mention Zagreus too. Part of Shane's interesting night is after Deputy Torres sort of rescued Shane, they went by looking for FG for some reason, or they went by the arcade for some reason, and the arcade was closed except the door was ajar and Zagreus was on. And it turns out Renita Torres has a connection to Zagreus. She became kind of enthralled with the machine. She started playing it. She made some strange allusions to Shane, that Shane was going to be offered up to the occluded king during the Shadow Jubilee or some weird shit like that. And that's what's going on there. So Zagreus is still doing its thing. Was there anything I missed in the recap? That was a kind of a all over the place recap, but I think I more or less got everything. I think what I would like to do, before we begin our day phase proper and before I introduce a new mystery, I think we need to have a scene where it's like the immediate next morning or even later that night where Shane meets the other Latchkeys. 26 Rodenbecker Street has just had police leave. They've been there all night because of the Tim Crayley situation. Um, we don't know where Zachary got off to. Zachary's missing. It's two Latchkeys missing right now. And so I think that's the scene we need to have, just getting Shane kind of like connected to the group, like why Shane's here. Who are you, Shane?
Yeah, I think that she would
Where's your
definitely be
brother?
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
she would want to come in the morning, just like check on. I mean, presumably she thinks that Ash is still alive, and so in danger, could have been in danger or something like that. So she would definitely be going back to Rodenbeck to see if he's there.
Yeah, let's just have that scene. I want to just basically get Shane tied into the group, and then we'll probably fast forward time a little bit. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, Shane sort of suits up, puts on her little fashion scarf. I think this one's maybe like a nice little paisley print. But yeah, she's gonna. I don't think she checks out of the motel just yet. Just because again, she doesn't know what the situation is totally. So she'll keep her room there for right now, but she'll head over to Rodenbecker, and I imagine it's pretty early in the morning. Doesn't seem to be any sight of the police there anymore, which is good. But she'll knock on the front door. I imagine. I forget, Taylor. You have a car, right?
No, I have a bike.
Who has the car?
I do.
Was it?
And in
Amber.
fact,
Oh yeah, you got
Amber
the.
has
There's a
the
hearse
hearse.
there's a hearse in the driveway.
yeah, and in fact, you can see a young woman sitting in that hearse because Amber did not manage to go inside to tell the others yet.
Yeah, I like the idea of you just
For
been
two
like
days.
sitting on this. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that she'll pull in seeing the hearse, and I mean, obviously, there's some, it's a mixture of confusion and concern. But when she gets out, she sees this
That's even
sullen-looking
worse.
goth woman in the driver's seat. She'll just sort of tap on the window.
Oh, hi.
Hi. My name is Shane. Shane, right? My brother. I think he's staying here. Ash.
Well,
I want the day move, Amber. What do you afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve right now? Or if you can't keep it together?
I think she's, without saying anything, she's going to drive away, running
Die
away.
of embarrassment.
Roll with composure. And let me take a look at your.
I'm shocked, so that
Yeah, I'm going to
should,
make you at disadvantage. Yeah, for shocked.
yeah. But still, it's pretty good roll. So it's a 12.
Oh, nice. Let's keep the scene going. I owe you a bonus. Yeah.
And wait, you're his sister?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he mentioned me here at all, but he sent me some texts and some left me some messages saying that he wasn't feeling very he wasn't feeling great, so he wanted me to come by and check on him, maybe even come get him. Are you one of his friends from that like weird message board that he's been on?
Yeah, I'm Amber. Maybe we should go inside?
Okay. Is is everything okay?
No? And then she starts crying, obviously.
Oh,
I want to give Taylor an opportunity to be involved. And what I think, Taylor, if it's okay, I think you're like looking out the window and you're not seeing that conversation necessarily, but what
Yeah.
you are seeing is someone like who is clearly trying to obscure their identity because they're wearing like a big hoodie and they're kind of being very furtive. They walk by the mailbox in front of the house that's like out on the curb, and they stick something in the mailbox and then run off.
I throw open the window and shout, "Oi! Stop right there!"
Amber and
And-
Shane, before you have your little moment, you're going to hear that.
Who is that?
Oh, that's Taylor.
You'll see the person running off from the mailbox.
Huh. Well, Amber, yeah. I don't know, you look. You want to go inside, right? And Shane is clearly very sort of uncomfortable with this like weeping goth woman.
Oh, let's check the mail first.
Yeah, I also
She
come
tries to
running
hold
out
it
of the house.
together. Yeah.
Okay.
When you open the mailbox, Taylor, there's a very, very immediately recognizable purple plastic case of an Odyssey tape.
Ooh.
That's your bonus on your die roll, Amber. The tape is called "I Want My Video Beat."
Thank you. Finally, another tip. Yeah. Okay, I guess we meet at the mailbox then.
Hi. I
Oh,
assume
hi.
you're staying here.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. This is a very strange 24 hours. I'm Shane. My brother is Ash, and I'm just looking to see
the
if he's
twin.
here. Oh, so he has mentioned me. Okay, great.
Oh, yes, he has. Very fondly, I must say.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, is he here? I haven't been able to get in touch with him. But
Do you mind if we go inside and sit down?
Oh, hi, Amber. Where have you been? I had to make the coffee myself this morning.
I found Ash.
And I made enough for
wait,
all,
what?
so.
What do you mean you
found
found
Ash.
Ash?
Well,
Oh, that's good.
can we sit down?
Yes. We can go inside and sit down.
Let's do that.
And we cut to like the living room, and there's been some moments of silence, and then okay, there's no easy way of telling you guys, but Ash is dead.
What?
What?
How did
I
you
found
know? Where is he? Why don't we know?
Well, we haven't met since. I didn't muster the courage to tell you guys.
Where did you find him?
How long did you know?
It's like
It would have been
today
like 2 days
afternoon.
ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you've been driving around for a while. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
long
she
have you
tells you
known?
that.
Actually, no, it only would have been like, because last
Oh.
session was just the night of the previous day.
True.
So it's only been like a day. Yeah.
Yeah, that checks out. So since yesterday afternoon.
Is that why you haven't been home?
Yeah. And she cries again. And she
Oh,
tells
no,
you that
Amber.
Shane kneels down and kind of gets in front of Amber and looks up at her, trying to sort of peer between what I assume is her hands over her face. She's sobbing. Please, I need to know what happened.
I am not completely sure, but I found. I'm going to spare you the details, but I found his body in the storage unit.
Did you call anybody? Did you call the police at least?
Yeah, what did Sheriff Handsome say?
I couldn't do anything but drive.
Oh, we need to call them now. And Shane will just shoot
Tell
right
him
up
exactly. Yeah.
and she'll get to the phone and start to dial the sheriff's office.
You have
And I
to
don't
tell
think
them
we.
exactly where you found him.
I
How did
think
he die? Did he fall down the stairs in the stupid unit while he was
Please don't ask.
exploring?
No. He was murdered.
Fuck.
I think Shane stops dialing when she hears that.
Was it Harvey Southwood?
Not sure.
What do you mean murdered?
Well, someone at the owning a storage unit. I don't want to tell you, to be honest.
I don't care if you don't
You
want to tell me. I
have
need to
to.
know.
I mean, it was really a grisly display of his body, to be honest. Like someone did almost want to make an artistic statement.
I was here last night. No one else was. I was looking for Shane,
That's true.
and there was a man here. He tried to convince me that he was staying here with you all, that he was a friend, but he wasn't.
He
And
was in the house?
he attacked me, and
Inside the house
Yes,
or outside?
in the house. He attacked me, and I found out that he wasn't who he said he was. He was some guy. His name was Tim Crayley. He owned some storage rental facility.
Creepy Crayley.
Do you know him, Amber? Like, is this connected?
Do we know him? I forgot.
I think the only person who knows him was Ash. Was the only person who met him. Yeah. Well, and
But
Shane
we've
now.
heard
but
of
yeah,
him, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But Renita Torres did mention after they arrested him that he worked at the storage place.
So the weirdest thing was that someone I met pointed me there.
Oh,
An accomplice to the murder.
I don't think so. It was more like he wanted me to find him. It was
But
like
how would he know?
I'm not sure. It was a pretty weird guy, even for Deep Lake. Well, fuck.
Amber, be more specific, come on.
I was the angel.
Angel. But all right, listen. That's we're getting really into the weeds now. Amber, I need you to tell the sheriff's department everything you know. We need to get his body at least. We need to figure this out. Oh my God. And Shane suddenly just sort of, I think, becomes overwhelmed with the realization and sits in a chair across from the others and just sort of does her best to like center herself and calm herself down.
Oh God. I spring into action and with one hand dial 911 and with the other hand I make tea. I can be nice too. Amber, you just sit there. Calm down.
Okay.
She's the one who's supposed to be really upset. You've had a day to think about it. Breathe. I'll make some tea. Yes, Sheriff. Yes, yes. No, you won't get any tea. No, yes. Could you please come to not Escondido, Rodenbecker Street. Is it the sheriff, or is it if I call, or is it the weird deputy?
I think, regardless of who it is, I think that especially because of Tim Crayley's being arrested and all the various events of the night, I believe that they will eventually, on your tip, go check out the storage facility. They will find the exhibit, and they will give something to you, Shane, something of your brother's. What is it?
I think they'll just give me his glasses. One of the lenses is cracked, and there's some weird, strange kind of like filament on it, almost like hair covered in wax. Possibly his hair, possibly from another person. Who knows?
You can put that in
They
your
didn't
corner of
claim.
the house.
All right.
And with Harvey Stosky and Tim Crayley safely behind bars, Pine Rock Ridge closed for the summer, for the remainder of the summer. That does close one particular chapter of the summer, I think. A few days will pass. Zachary is spending a lot of time at 18 Escondido Street. Kind of just pops off by himself to go over there. He's also getting, I think he also brought home some Serpents and Sepulchres books one day. Been reading through that. Maybe, just maybe, he's gonna make an offer to run a game for you all. Shane, you've decided to hang out for the summer. At this point, I think it's fair to say that the group would have taken the time to share with you all the things that they've encountered, and indeed TV Odyssey and all the stuff they've learned about TV Odyssey and the Big Man and the other things. And so you're kind of like caught up and you're in it. It has been a few days. And a new mystery presents itself. Our new mystery, you can follow along on the tab, is called On Strange Wings. I'll read it to you. Just about every rural region has its own cryptid, from Loch Ness to Boggy Creek to the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Degoya County has more than its fair share. Recently, the Deep Lake Lurker, but no more. Few can agree on precisely what another cryptid is, though. The winged Deep Lake Devils. Are they gargoyles, vampires, demons, aliens, mutant animals, bats, birds, insects, some other inexplicable combination? Nobody knows what they are, but everyone in town knows where they come from, the Deep Lake Devils. They come from Los Ojos de los Muertos, the eyes of the dead. They are mounds of labyrinthine caverns that lead down ever deeper to a vast underground reservoir of oil, an ancient necropolis, or the literal gates of hell, depending on who you ask. For the past few decades, stories of the Deep Lake Devils have taken a more whimsical bent, blamed for everything from tardiness to distracted driving to acts of vandalism. All of that changed last week when livestock around the county started turning up with strange wounds that could be characterized as bite marks. Some insist that a prized calf was completely exsanguinated. With the Degoya County open bull riding competition coming up, accusations of sabotage are to be expected, but the whole Watch the Skies crowd has also come back out of the woodwork. Whatever the actual cause, the results are unmistakable: suspicion and fear. I'm going to pose the following to each of you. What dubious claim or local legend have you heard about the Deep Lake Devils? And what personal experience leads you to believe that there's some kernel of truth behind the tall tales?
I heard that they fly onto roofs of houses at night where there are like those attic windows, and they watch people through the attic windows while they sleep, and then steal their dreams. And there are scratch marks over some attic windows. They were found there, so that's where that idea comes from. And I've also found some scratch marks since I just decided that I'm sleeping in the attic at Escondido. No, it's not Escondido.
Yeah, you don't want to sleep in that attic.
No.
at Rodenbecker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember growing up hearing that the Deep Lake devils were attracted to bright color and light, and in particular the color red. And so little gingers like Shane and Ash would have to not go out at night, because if we did, we'd be kidnapped, we'd be caught by these devils and taken to their lair and fed upon. And obviously we grew up thinking that that was just, bullies being bullies. But there was a night where Ash and Shane were out after the streetlights were on, biking around, and they were on some desolate road heading home, and they were biking as fast as they could, and they felt like was following them. But when they finally got close to their home and to the porch lights, there was nothing. But Ash always swore that he could feel the warmth of something breathing down on him, as if it was to come pick him up, but it never did.
I think Amber has heard that the devils are really well they try to avoid loud music and noise, and there has been like one person maybe living in at the edge of town, and they were known to play loud music all the time. But at some point there was like a blackout, and they didn't play music, obviously, at night. And for some reason they disappeared.
I'm going to pose the following to Taylor. Taylor, what extreme sport or activity captured your youthful imagination, and how did you determine it was never going to be a viable career choice?
Dirt biking. There were those traveling, fairs where there were people doing that. As you can see, I know a lot about this. Me, Natasha, so please ignore that. And the guys and girls doing that, they were the coolest people on earth. It was almost like they were flying. And I imagined them riding like that in the real world during their spare time and jumping over cars, going to work and everything. And I determined it was never going to be a viable career choice because I actually witnessed an accident, and it was so gruesome that I decided that it might not be the best idea to pursue a career in in the sport. I still love biking though,
Mhm.
but I always wear a helmet.
So we have a cryptid, the Deep Lake Devils, flying cryptids, possibly attacking cattle, possibly responsible for other things, possibly doing these weird things that you've all heard rumors of. It's just another mystery in town. And the question that we have here is, well, what are the Deep Lake Devils? Are they terrestrial? What are they? And are they terrestrial, or are they from another planet or dimension? It's a complexity 4, and if you answer it correctly, you unlock the next appropriate question. You also have the key of adrenaline available here to you. Each latchkey narrates a flashback when they took a big risk or beat the odds at the expense of someone unexpected. I do want to point out as well that we have the key of the palace still in play. I believe Taylor still has to narrate a dream they once had of the occluded king sitting upon a blood-red throne wearing a bramble crown, reigning over the realm of the dead. Amber, you also have to do this as well. So be thinking of your key of the palace. Speaking of the occluded king is getting his hands into Deep Lake via Zagreus, seems, and Deputy Torres, and Shane, you're already like really directly connected to this whole Zagreus situation because of the circumstances you found yourself in last night or a few nights ago. Anyway, we have 3 active mysteries right now. Let's go around the table. We'll have maybe a scene or 2 with each character for the day phase. I want to just find out what everyone's interested in doing here. We'll start with Shane.
I think I'd like a little scene to start since I'm at the motel already. Just maybe peek around, see who's around there. And then I think I would go back into town, and I think she'd check out Galaxia, see what's happening there, see if Deputy Torres is still there.
Well, I would have
Yeah.
guessed after a few days you would have just moved into Rodenbecker Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think we're kind of saying you are now an official Deep Lake Latchkey at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's been a few days, right?
Okay.
So, with that said, what would you want to do?
Well, in that case, yeah, I'll head to Galaxia then and scope that out and just kind of take it from there. But I would also like a vulnerable scene with someone since I am stacked on conditions. I think I'll take it with Amber if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Amber, you have
Makes sense.
shocked, which you can try to clear. That sounds like a good scene for the 2 of you to start. Taylor, what do you want to do?
Mysteries can only be resolved at night, right?
They can only be resolved at night. Yes, that's correct.
I'm actually also interested in Zagreus because I got sent this Photoshop picture of me with disappeared kids. But
So maybe you're all heading to the arcade. That could be fun.
Yeah, but I'd maybe I'd try to find friends of Tim Crayley or employees. Did he own the storage place or just
Yeah,
work
he
there?
actually was just the night manager. Yeah.
Just the night manager. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe find out where he lived and stuff like that. Because maybe he is Adafoy.
Oh, yeah, might be. Out of 485 is still out there in the world.
Exactly.
That sounds good. So I like the idea of like, if you want to like, how are you going to do that? You're going to make phone calls? You're going to actually go somewhere?
Yeah, I'll actually go to the storage facility
Okay, good. Yeah.
because there has to be someone working there,
Yeah, that sounds good to
or I
me.
can just call.
I love it. No, you can head over there. That's fine. And then meet up at the Galaxia Arcade afterwards. I think that probably
Good idea, yeah.
makes sense. Why don't we start though with Amber and Shane at the house? or wherever you're having your nostalgic move scene.
I think at the house is fine. Did you have a preference, Amber, as to whether or not one of our takes me backs gets used? Which one, rather?
Let me have a look.
Because I have an idea for one, but if you wanted to use one, I have.
Oh no, you can go ahead. I was
Okay.
thinking it could be Ash related, but it doesn't have to.
Oh no, I'm totally gonna make it Ash related. So, I think that she's taken up residence in his old room, and so I think since the morning ritual seems to be Amber makes coffee, Shane has not come down for any kind of breakfast yet, and Amber would eventually find her in her room slash Ash's old room, thumbing through some of the tiger beats that were found in the house.
Hey, how are you holding up?
Oh, hi, yeah. And she just sort of looks down at the smiling face of Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and she turns it over to let Amber see it and says, "He had such a crush on him. We always used to fight over him. It was stupid and weird, and sorry, I'm getting." And she starts to sort of like tear up, and sorry, I'm a mess right now. Are you? How are you? Are you good?
Better, not good.
Yeah, that's a perfect way of saying it.
You know, I didn't know Ash that well, but he was really a decent guy. He was really.
He was. He he and I were very similar when we were young, but kind of we didn't drift apart, but we just became different people. And I always felt so sad for him that he carried around so much guilt and so much pain, and he just wouldn't share it with anybody, not even me. And but I think that's why he came out here to try and share some of that with people he, I guess, knew.
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you why he got into TV Odyssey?
Don't actually recall. I mean, we were all on the forum and we remembered, since everyone else apparently does not.
I knew of it, but I didn't have the same kind of his fascination with it. He was obsessed, kept it to himself as much as he could, but he tried to rope me in, tried to convince me that it was real, that it was, but I think he wanted it to be real. I think he wanted it to be more than it was because of his own pain and his own grief. I don't know. I guess we all suffer in our own ways. But I guess it is real because you have tapes for it. So
I don't have the words really, to be honest. I cannot imagine what you're going through, but you know, something weird is going on, and I think your brother was also killed because he was investigating what's going on here. I don't think that Tim just is like your standard serial killer. So I would totally get if you want to leave at some point, rather sooner than later, to be honest,
Thought
because
about
it's
it, but
dangerous.
I've thought about it, but Deep Lake has taken everything from me at this point. I don't have a brother, I don't have a mother, I don't have a father. I'm here, and if I can at least give Ash some kind of justice, something, I guess it'll give me some kind of purpose.
That feels pretty good. Awesome. Good scene. Shane, sounds like you're probably clearing a nerve. Is that fair
Yeah.
to say? And Amber shocked, I'm assuming, since you've worked through the trauma here, or worked through the initial shock of finding Ash. Fantastic. And one of you gets to stumble on a clue as well. Looks like it's Amber. You get to define
Amber.
the clue. Yeah. So be thinking about your clue and how you find it, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to check in with Taylor. Taylor, the Me and Myself storage it's actually been closed down ever since the day you all told
Yeah, that makes sense.
the police about the exhibit. They have police tape up, and they've actually not been letting anyone like access their storage unit. They've got the place like sealed off. There are no employees at Me and Myself storage, but that doesn't mean there's no one around. You actually see what appears to be a homeless man. He's got a thick, bushy beard with streaks of gray and a shopping cart full of his various assorted belongings. He's wearing a band shirt for Karen and the Psychopomps. He's kind of just there in the parking lot, this otherwise empty parking lot in front of the storage unit or the storage facility. What do you do?
I say, yeah, Karen.
He looks up at you and says, "Oh, I I just I just got this shirt. This shirt was just given to me. I have actually never heard them. Are they any good?"
Oh yeah, very good.
Oh.
You want to hear?
Oh, sure. I guess in case I need to prove my bona fides, huh?
I take out my Discman. Is that the Discman time, or is it already
There'd be
iPod time?
iPods. Yeah, there'd be iPods.
Yeah, I take out my iPod,
Mhm.
my big chunky iPod,
Mhm.
and hand him one earpiece and turn on Karen and
Karen and the
whatnot.
Psychopomps. Yeah.
Yes.
He's kind of like, doing his, bopping along or whatever. He's like, "That's really cool. Thank you."
Right. Yeah, you're welcome. I pack it away. Do you live around here?
He's like, "Oh, well, I claim all of Degoya County as my home."
Nice. That's some square feet you got there.
It's not bad in the winter. My old bones appreciate the warmth down south, though it does get pretty cold at night, I guess.
I believe you. So did you see what happened? I mean,
My name's Charlie, by the way.
oh, hey, I'm Taylor. Nice to meet you.
Did I see what happened? What all the police tapes for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Go ahead and make the meddling move with presence.
6.
What'd you get?
6.
A 6. He says, "Oh yeah, I saw what happened. All right. They it took them a whole day and night to get the storage unit in question cleaned up. They found
Yikes.
all kinds of horrible stuff in there. Body parts and bone and blood, and well, I don't want to
Yikes, no, let's
disturb
not
you."
talk about that. Did you know the guy who did that? I just read he was arrested. I think I actually met him once.
Yeah.
when we
I
did
knew him
like
really
a-
well, actually.
Oh, really?
Really, really
Was it
well.
a friend?
You might say that. Tim and I go way, way back.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Like, back as far back as the crib.
Oh, okay. Ah, is that why you're hanging around here?
He says, yeah, I guess I just, well, when I heard what happened to Tim, my brother, and what he'd been up to, I guess I just wanted to kind of see his handiwork for myself, and boy, oh boy, did I see it.
Oh, now you wish you didn't, right?
Well,
Did you have any idea that he was like this?
yes, I did. You have to understand something, ma'am. Tim and I, we were being watched when we were kids. Watched
no.
really closely.
Why?
And he says, he kind of leans in and he says, "Are you from here?"
Yeah, I grew up around here.
"Oh, okay. Well, then you might remember Officer Barker."
Do I remember Officer Barker? Was he here during my time?
I don't think so. You would have been too little, if at all.
Hmm.
But we'll pick up with that in a moment. Let's take a 5-minute break. Charlie Crayley says, "Officer Barker was this kids thing, a cartoon police dog. They would show videos of him to kids to convince them not to get in trouble, to not do crime. It was kind of a thing around here, a local thing. And anyway, it all came to an end when this little boy, Benji Castle, murdered his whole family. And Benji said that Officer Barker made him do it. Anyway, that's
Oh
not,
no.
that's neither here nor there. The fact is, Officer Barker was just one of the wolves. Dog, wolf, it's all kind of the same thing in the end, especially in Degoya County. Anyway,
So what does that have to do with Tim?
well, my brother and I, we used to get visited by a wolf of our own. He used to
That sounds creepy.
hang out in our closet and come out at night. He called himself Mr. Big Bad. Anyway.
Okay, and that like turned Tim crazy or what?
Well, Mr. Big Bad always wanted us to do things we weren't supposed to do, and I think my brother was more susceptible. I I let it. I ran away from it as much as I was able. Growing up, I was never able to get my head on right because of Mr. Big Bad, and that's why I've kind of ended up like I have.
When did he stop visiting you guys?
I, th- I don't think Mr. Big Bad ever really goes away, but I've found a way to drown him out. And here he kind of looks to his down at his jacket where he's got, you can see a bottle of alcohol or liquor poking out of his jacket. He says, "You've got to listen to
Yeah.
me.
Okay, I'm listening.
Degoya County is filled with wolves, and they are
I believe you.
all servants of the king.
The king,
Yeah.
the occluded king.
Just be careful of dogs and wolves, okay?" And he pushes his shopping cart out of the parking lot. And I'm going to give you a condition, which is going to.
What? Oh yeah, I rolled a 6. Okay,
You
that's
did.
fair.
Wolves of the king.
Hey.
Let's pick up with Amber and Shane. And actually, what was the clue that you stumbled onto, Amber?
So I was thinking, and maybe you have to help me with phrasing that, that there was an earthquake the other day, and now she remembers it. Kind of in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a clue related to On Strange Wings.
So that's the clue. There was an earthquake?
Yeah.
Around the time of the cattle mutilations, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, like a week ago or something.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I like it. And at this point, are we going to meet up at Galaxia Arcade, everyone? Is that the plan?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. FG has not reopened the arcade in days. It's been closed since at least the night Deputy Torres and Shane were there while Deputy Torres was playing Zagreus. But when he sees you, he ushers you inside. Are you there as well, Amber?
Well, actually, I think not.
Okay.
I might just go drive to the desert.
Very good. Let's pick up then with Taylor and Shane. When he sees Taylor and Shane, he kind of like says, "You two, come in, come in. You're friends with that kid Zachary, right?
Yeah, we are.
And you know about the
Zagreus?
Zagreus secret levels."
I guess you told us, right?
Yeah, he would have told you.
Yes, we do. We actually helped helped him figure it out.
Oh, good.
That's Shane. I'm Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Come in. When you get in, all the machines are off except the Zagreus. And when you look at the Zagreus, there's just blocky pixel letters that say on the screen, "I've been waiting for you."
Has it been saying that for long, or is that new?
He says, "No, I haven't seen that yet." And then he says in a really low voice, he says, "I think the machine is watching me.
There was a few days ago a Deputy Torres who came here. She's
called several
playing.
times about it. Wanting to know when I'm going to open back up.
You probably should let her back in until this is all sorted out. She was fanatical about this machine.
Why did you close down? I'm sorry, Shane, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
He says, well, I can't get any of the other machines to come back on.
How long have they been off?
It's been a few days now. I can't get them to come on. It's like their motherboards are fried or something. I don't know. Only the Zagreus works.
And you've, I assume, tried unplugging Zagreus.
Well, sure, I guess I could, but why would I do that?
Shane just sort of walks over and like tries to unplug it.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
I think when you go to try to unplug it, Shane, you get shocked. Make the day move. Make the day move with vitality. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
I'm afraid I'm going to end up looking like Carrot Top. No, I'm afraid it'll give me some pretty gnarly burns on my fingers.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it with vitality.
And does
the Shadow Jubilee affect it?
Yeah.
No, not yet. I don't think so.
Okay.
What'd you get?
That's another 6.
Another 6.
I have not rolled anything higher than a 6.
Shane goes to unplug the Zagreus. Shane goes to unplug the Zagreus, and there's just like sparks that fly. And Shane goes flying back and slams up against the floor, smoke coming off of her. I'm going to give you electrical burns as a condition, Shane.
Shit, Shane, are you okay?
FG's like, are you okay? Are you okay?
No. Ow.
What?
Shit.
We have to get you. Someone's got to monitor you. Your heart could just stop.
Yeah. Sure.
Do
maybe
you want to go to the hospital?
Maybe I should. And maybe you should get rid of that machine.
Did it do that to you before?
He says, well, I never had a notion of unplugging it.
Why not? What do you know?
I think the Zagreus has something to tell us. And I think the only way we're going to learn what it is if we play. If we play those secret levels that your friend unlocked.
Have you tried it yet?
Well, yes. But I didn't do very well. I don't think I got very far.
My brother came here maybe a couple weeks ago before he died. But he had mentioned to some of his other friends, and she looks over at Taylor, and someone named Rachel told you where to find this machine.
Rachel
Is that
Orietta.
true?
Yes. Well, yeah. And
well, did she tell you anything else in this vision, this dream about this game?
Only that a new Styx society would come. And I think that's you and your friends. You've got to play.
I guess so. Are you any good at video games, Shane?
I yeah, I mean, I can play them. I'll probably need some bandages first. And she lifts up her hand
Good
and
Yeah.
point.
see.
He's got some Bactine he'll get for your burn and help you out. Are you going to play the secret levels?
Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Shane.
Press start. When you play a game
I'm
of
hovering right behind you like this.
when you play a game of Zagreus in an attempt to beat a secret level, roll with composure or reason, your choice, minus the number of boxes marked below. On a hit, mark the first unmarked box below and collect that level's prize. On a 10 plus, you also find a clue. On a miss, you do not mark a box. You use up all your lives and take the condition obsessed with death. If you are already obsessed with death, turn a key. Once a secret level is beaten, it's beaten for any latchkey who uses this move. So the first level of the secret levels is called the Descent. You currently have no boxes marked because you have not beat the Descent yet, so it's just regular composure or reason. Though I think with the Shadow Jubilee condition, this is where it might kind of come into play. So you would be at disadvantage unless you can justify using one of your items here.
I think there's that like kind of quiet cinematic moment where she pulls out Ash's glasses and like gives him the kiss on the little broken lens and
Oh, nice.
puts them into her pocket.
Nice. If you mark that, you get to roll with regular dice.
All right.
The first level, the Descent, it features pastoral fields, a dark cave, friendly NPCs. This level requires you to solve a series of simple adventure game puzzles to enter the underworld. At this point, everyone, we are going to paint the screen. What do we see that makes us think the pixelated characters are in distress?
I think in their little, what is this, like 18-bit, 16-bit? I think
It's
these
probably
little
like
sprites.
it's 8-bit at best. Yeah.
I think these little sprites are all on their knees. Their animation is just their hands that keep going up and up as if like reaching out to the skies, crying out.
There's tiny blue white pixels like sweat jumping off their heads.
I think the faces are all frowning and looking very unhappy.
Little pixelated frowns. Go ahead. You're going to roll with composure or reason.
I'm gonna roll with. It's the same thing for me. So
Okay.
yeah.
Let's see how you do. See if you beat the first level.
I rolled the exact same thing I rolled last time.
Which was a 6.
A6. I don't know what tech I did.
You have to throw away those dice.
I know those dice.
I'm using the same online roller.
You have to throw away your computer.
You know what? I got to.
Shane is failing miserably. Taylor, Shane plays this level over and over again, cannot figure it out, and yet you're taking the condition obsessed with death.
Makes sense.
You've lost all your lives. You're obsessed with death. How does the obsession with death manifest in the scene?
I think Taylor sees that Shane is like very focused on this, and there's a point where it gets to be almost maddening. Like she's just, her eyes almost have this bloodshot quality to them, and we see that there's tears starting to well up in her eyes. And I think Taylor would get the sense that there's something heavier here. And there's a moment where as she's playing, the glasses that were stuffed in her pocket fall out. And I think that's the only point when she breaks out of this spell that she's under. That when Taylor tries to pick up the glasses, Shane looks at her and snaps and has this like fiery rage in her eyes and snaps and pulls the glasses away from her, just stuffs them into her pocket and just kind of kicks the console. She walks away in frustration.
FG turns to you, Taylor, and says, "Well, that didn't go so well. That's about as good as I did.
Yeah.
Do you want to give
How
it a
far
go?"
did you get?
He's
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Can I have a Coke first?
He goes to get you a Coke. And same die roll, same level. You get to roll with either composure or reason, your choice. And I'm Wolves of the King does not come into play quite yet, so you can roll with regular dice. What'd you get?
5.
Sakura's just kicking your ass. You lose all your lives. And you are also obsessed with death as a condition. How does this manifest in the scene?
Well, I start cursing at the machine and at my tiny pixel person. It's like, you fucker, don't die on me. Why do you always have to die? It's always death with you, isn't it? Come on. Why can't I have one more life? Just one more life.
FG just sighs. Man.
Yeah, you keep sighing. You do it better. Come on.
And we'll cut over to Amber. So Amber, you said you're driving out to the desert. Are you going to go to Los Ojos de Muertos, or are you going somewhere else? What's going on?
I mean, am I kind of familiar what my options are?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're wanting to investigate the Deep Lake Devils, all you really know is just there are ranches. There's one ranch in particular, the cows were attacked, and then you know about these like little mounds out in the desert called the Eyes of the Dead, that supposedly is where the Deep Lake Devils roost, and that's kind of it at this point. Those are pretty much the only leads you have right now.
Yeah, I think she just wanted to be on her own for a bit and drive and
It is a drive. Like if you were to go out to the Eyes of the Dead, that is like if you go out there, you'll have to spend your night phase out there or driving back from there. So
oh, okay, I'm going to do that.
yeah. So you're heading out to
Which one?
to the Eyes of the Dead or the ranch.
Yeah, the eyes after
Okay.
that.
Very good. But first, we're on the road. It is a little ways out. You got to drive a fair ways out into the desert to get to it. And your first stop, at some point, you're going to need gas. And you stop at the Last Chance gas station. During the day, it would be easy to overlook this roadside rest stop as abandoned. In fact, you nearly did. At night, it's illuminated by flickering fluorescent light tubes that spill their light out across the empty highway, and indeed the sun is getting pretty low in the sky. A pair of garage bays betray some sign of life as piles of tools are positioned around a dented and scratched station wagon that has certainly seen better days. The bare-bones mini-mart contains the essentials for road trips and a single dusty spinner rack of souvenirs, the result of an aborted marketing campaign by the Degoya County Tourism Board. T-shirts and bumper stickers depict a pair of wings and two googly eyes with the slogan, "Speak of the Deep Lake Devils." let's paint the scene, everyone. What suggests that the last chance nature of this place is no mere marketing ploy, and that there is still a very real danger in venturing unprepared into the vast empty space between roadside outposts?
There's like a bulletin board with a bunch of different old yellowed clippings of different people who have been found dead in between this post and the next post. It's sort of a morbid, macabre warning to people who visit.
There are several pairs of worn through hiking boots tied to a post. And here you can see that the soles are worn really thin and they have been thoroughly used.
I think in front of the gas station there's like a junkyard with cars that have been abandoned along the road, and people weren't found who owned their cars.
Amber, you'll have gone into the station while you're, the little convenience store while you're filling up. There's nobody in the convenience store. It seems like the only person is whoever's out in the garage working on that station wagon. You also see a big barrel chested man kind of poking around, kind of hovering. He has a tailored vest and pressed pants. His sport coat is folded neatly over one arm like a Roman senator. And he's kind of bellowing out to the person working on the station wagon. How much longer is it going to be? I've been here for damn near 3 hours. And the woman working on the car says, don't rush me. If you don't want to end up back here 10 miles down the road, don't rush me. Let me do my work. Amber, what are you doing?
So, I mean, I suppose she got some supplies like sunscreen and some snacks.
And you need to pay for
And
them. There's nobody to check you out.
yeah. And then she just yells, "Hey, can you take a short break and just so I can pay?"
A young woman wearing a grease-stained Toronto Blue Jays baseball cap and overalls tucked into oversized cowboy boots kind of slides out from underneath the car on the little, roller thing. And she says, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, a little short-handed today. Let me help you out there." And she kind of pushes past this big guy waiting on his car. And she says, "Geez, that guy's a piece of work. You know him?
No, who's that?
Dr. Isaac Turner, the anthropologist of evil. You haven't seen him on TV?"
Wait, that's him?
Yeah. He goes around, all talk shows and talks about satanic ritual abuse and whatever the topic du jour is. Who knows what he's out here for now? Probably
Uh-huh.
chasing devils or demons or ghosts or exorcists or who knows what. Wait, you're not with him, are you?
Well, no, but
Sorry, it's just your
yeah, I get
your
it a
get up.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, don't let him see you. He's going to think you have evil inside you, evil that needs to be cast out.
Oh shit. Yeah, can't use that.
Anyway, yeah, let me get you rung up here. She's you know, scanning all your items. She says, so what brings you out this way?
Well, you could say I'm kind of investigating
Evil.
evil.
Right.
Exactly, but less as an anthropologist, more like a zoologist.
Oh, you're chasing the Deep Lake Devils. You're a sky watcher. Yeah.
I mean, what else? What else is here to do?
Right. Well, best of luck to you. Just be careful when you get back out on the road. It's easy to get white line fever and just sort of drift off the highway. And honestly, hitting something is not even the worst thing. It's really just suddenly realizing you're out in the middle of nowhere with not knowing how to get back. That's the real danger out there.
So, what do you suggest I should do then when it happens?
Lots. Um, have you ever heard of this? And she pulls out a can of balls and sets it down. This will keep you awake. Trust me.
Cool, I'll take it.
My name's Nikki Connolly.
Amber Serrano.
Amber Serrano. Cool. And she's like, she checks you out, and she's like, well, Amber Serrano, I probably better get back to this guy's car. That guy's a piece of work. And she comes back around. She says, here. And she tosses you one of those Deep Lake Devils t-shirts on the house.
Cool, thanks. Next time I come by, you can have a look at my car, because that's something you won't see every day.
And then when she steps out, she sees it then. And she's like, oh, ho, 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 ho. And at this point, that's when Dr. Isaac Turner comes out and he sees you, he sees the hearse, he says, oh, I knew I was out here for a reason. It was divine providence that my car should break down right in the vicinity of this gas station. Oh, yes, sirree, young lady, you and I were meant to meet.
So usually hitchhikers just hold out their thumbs. But if you want to give me your spiel, go ahead.
He says, no, I don't need a ride. I don't need a ride to where you're going, straight to hell.
Well, that's rude.
It's not too late. It's not too late to cast out the demons inside you. You know that, right? I can help. I've helped many, many hundreds of troubled young people like you in my time.
Nah, I'm fine. And she puts on her sunglasses, and maybe she's got like a turned over pentagram tattooed, and shows it to him.
He says, well, if you change your mind and you need the services of a genuine doctor of evil, you can find me at the Saguaro Motel just down the road.
Fair enough. And if you ever want to come to the dark side, just ask for Amber.
It's all fun and games now, little girl. But eventually the bill becomes due. And you do not want to be around when the man comes around.
Yeah, that's why I'm heading out now, and she puts like something in the tip jar, winks at Nikki, and at least I get somewhere, to go somewhere, because my car's going.
Indeed. Let's check back in at the Galaxia arcade.
Oh no, it was so much fun.
FG says, well, we can't just, I mean, we got to keep going, right? I mean, we got to beat this level.
I guess. Any tips? You didn't beat this level either? You didn't
Well, no,
didn't get
but
any
I'm
further?
lousy at video games. You're young people. You're supposed to
You're,
be good at
you're
video
lousy
games.
you own an arcade, isn't that what you do all day?
I'd never get high on your own supply. Haven't you ever heard that phrase?
Yeah, but that doesn't apply to video games. Come on, it's ridiculous. But fine, okay, I'll try again.
I have a feeling that I am not going to be able to turn on the rest of my machines and get back to business until we do whatever this machine wants us to do. And what this machine wants us to do is to beat these secret levels.
I believe that too. So let's do it.
Okay. Who's up first?
Okay. You wanna try again, Shane?
Shane has just been sort of seated on one of the little benches off to the side, just like her head in her hands, and she just looks up and glares.
I hand her the rest of my coke.
Thank you. All
Have
right.
a drink of me.
She stands up, kind of pushing FG aside. Let's do this.
You can do it, Shane. I believe in you. I don't know you very well, but I still believe in you.
2d6 disadvantage.
I gotta mark something because my running luck. So I think that she's had like sort of wrapped around her waist her girlfriend's sweater. She sort of takes it off her waist and like throws it over her shoulder.
Nice.
Sniffing some of the cashmere she does. So that's just a regular 2d6.
Little boost of confidence. Yeah, 2d6.
All right.
You just need a 7.
And what am I rolling with? Composure or reason?
Your choice, but it's the same for you. So
it's going to be an 8.
All right.
Finally.
On a hit, so you have beat the descent. Your prize is simply that a new level appears on the select screen. But go ahead and describe how you like. Give us the when you beat the game, this sort of simple adventure puzzle level. Apparently not so simple, but yeah.
Well, yeah, it was terrifying. But I think that I think that there's a moment where it looks like it's getting bad. It's getting pretty bad. I think she gets to her last life maybe, and she's like takes that moment. She like wipes the sweat off her hands on her jeans. She just focuses. She gets in there, and finally her little sprite is leaping across, dodging all these little spirits and all these little fireballs and what have you, until finally jumps into whatever portal leads into the next level, and she just sort of lets out this howl of like victory.
FG says, "Look! There's a new level on the screen. There's a new one to pick. Oh, the river. Keep playing.
Don't stress her. Keep calm. You too, Shane.
Yeah, she's in there.
The river. This is a black river with white pixel waves, souls of the drowning damned, screaming in 8-bit tones. It's just a buggy ripoff of Frogger. The level requires you to complete a navigational challenge to cross this little river. Let's paint the screen, everyone. A pixelated object in the river makes you think of a deceased loved one. What is it? And Amber, even though you're not there would be something there for you too.
There's a little skeleton floating down the river, but it has a pair of eyeglasses on it.
There's a little a bright green crocodile swimming up and down the river, which reminds me of the stuffed animal crocodile that my father used to tuck in with me at night.
We also see a it's I mean it's pixelated, but we can recognize it's a blue teapot that looks similar to the one Amber's grandmother had.
This level's a little harder. The roll's made at a -1.
Right. So -1 with disadvantage.
Yes. Unless you want to get Taylor to do the level.
I mean, she's in it to win it right now, so we'll just go with it. All right. That is a 3 total.
Actually, I think we hear like pixelated 8-bit drowning noises. As you lose your last life in the river. You're already obsessed with death, so you must turn a key. FG says, well, it was a good effort, I guess. But it looks like you can pick that level again, play whenever you want.
All right.
Oh, you're going to give it a go?
Yeah, what else is there to do?
Well, I do want to see
knuckles.
what happens whenever we beat these levels.
But you have to shut up. If really, you're making me nervous.
He's like, okay, all right.
Okay, yeah, you go over there. Shane can watch. I'll call you over when the level's done. I'm pretty sure that will make all the difference.
Very well.
Thank you.
Regular 2d6 for you.
No, I'm also obsessed with death. Already.
That's not what causes the disadvantage on Shane.
Okay.
Shane, it was the Shadow Jubilee.
All right.
Wolves of the King will not apply yet. There's a particular moment when it might, but right now.
All right.
2d6 plus reason or composure. They're the same for you.
Yes!
Let's see how it goes. What you got?
11.
11. Please go ahead and narrate successfully navigating the river to the other side, thereby beating the level.
All right. So my little pixelated Taylor person jumps onto the skeleton. From the skeleton, it picks up the teapot. With the teapot, it smashes the crocodile, and the force from smashing the crocodile catapults her to the other side of the river.
Nice. I like it. Now, because you got a 10 plus, I owe you a clue. So let me take a look at the clues you currently have. And you defeat the level. You do get a clue. You also get a prize for beating the level, but your clue... Oh.
I like that. Oh.
There's a little... You know how some like arcade games have like ticket dispensers? You know, like the sort of like little ticket games you'd play. This is not a ticket game, but it has a little, like, there's a little printer on the front, and there's a little very slow, and out of this little printer, which no one had ever noticed before, there is a dot matrix print of a photograph showing the original Styx Society playing Zagreus, presumably back in 1985. Whenever you get ready to answer the question, there might be some details in that picture which are applicable, but that is your clue. FG says, "This is incredible."
I told you it makes a difference if you're hovering here or if you're back there.
Yeah. I'll stand right back here.
Check it out.
I don't
Did
wanna
you
be
know
any-
any of the kids?
He's like, yeah, I remember them. I think we're getting close to figuring out what happened to them, don't you?
It kind of feels like it, doesn't? Even though it doesn't really make sense that it should feel like that.
Taylor, are you ready to play the next level?
Well, you get a prize for
Isn't it
beating
your
this level. Your prize for beating the river, Taylor.
Mhm.
You will be visited by the specter of a deceased character in your dreams the next time you fall asleep. You'll describe them. Whenever we have that scene, you may ask them 3 questions. I will answer truthfully, though not necessarily completely.
Mhm.
So be thinking of who your visitor is going to be.
A deceased character.
Yes. Deceased character. It could
Okay,
be
so-
somebody you know. It could be a dead
Yeah.
person from the game, from the story. And I think we have time to play one more level before we wrap up the day phase. Who wants to give it a go?
You want to
Let
try
Taylor
again,
take this one.
Shay?
No, please. You're having a lot
Okay.
more luck than I am.
Okay.
The
F
roll is
over there.
He goes over there. He sits quietly, timidly in the corner, but anxiously for the next level, which is now the roll's made it a -2. This is the garden. The garden is filled with green hedgerows and carnivorous plants, half-birthed shambling monsters, pixelated wolves patrolling. And there are bright red pomegranate collectibles all over the screen. This level requires you to find a variety of hidden items and assemble a key to the palace. Let's paint the screen, everyone. Something in this level reminds us of Deep Lake. What is it?
The red pomegranate seeds, when they are lying in a cluster on the screen, they remind me of a certain pizza I got from a certain pizza delivery van.
There is a in the background, like in this sort of foresty setting, there is this bright yellow flash that goes by, and you see this sort of long serpent that goes through, and it seems to be wearing some kind of not yellow, but it's kind of like white burning crown, but it zips by, and there's moments where it like stops and winks and then goes off the screen.
I think in the background, it's you hardly notice it. There's like the silhouette of a building that looks like a rocket silo.
This time the die roll is made at a -2, and you are going to be, or no, -3. It's made at a -3.
What?
Wait, what was it last time? -1 or 2?
2. No, -1. I think you just said that it's -2 now.
I think it's related to the
No?
boxes.
Yeah. So we'd mark the next box. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so on a hit, mark the first unmarked box below, collect that level's prize. Oh, got it. So it's a -2 now. So
Yeah.
you are rolling at -2 and at disadvantage because of Wolves of the King.
Okay, I would like to use something from my quarters.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm like, I don't think this is fair, actually. There's something wrong. Let me see that. I take out my multi-tool and I start wedging it between the surface and the joystick. I'm like, no, I'm sure this is stuck somehow. That makes it harder.
Oh, you think that the joystick is sticky? Oh, I like it. That's good.
I try to loosen it with my crazy multi-tool that weighs a ton.
I love it. Roll with regular 2d6, but still -2 plus +1, so -1 total.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope.
What'd you get?
That's a 5. Oh, shut up, man.
The little wolves get you. And you must, because you're already obsessed with death, you must turn a key. And FG says, looks like maybe you might.
Oh, shut up, FG. Shut up. You don't even have to finish that sentence.
This is going to wrap up our night phase with Amber arriving, or day phase rather, with Amber arriving at Los Ojos and the two of you doing whatever you're going to do. Let's go ahead and switch over to the desk really quick. Are we watching an Odyssey tape tonight?
I think we should.
Yes,
yeah.
please. Let's.
So video
what
beat.
Did you say, Shane?
Oh yeah, I think we all agree. I think there's at least 2 votes for a tape. You have some options on where you're going to watch it. You can watch it. Let's see, at the offices of Vertex Electronica, which makes a certain amount of sense because the two of you were just playing Zagreus, and I think Zachary went to the offices of Vertex Electronica, if I'm not mistaken. Someone did. So you know about it. You know there's a VCR there. There is a VCR at Escondido Street, of course, which is where Zachary's been hanging out a lot as of late. You can always watch it back at Rodenbecker Street. I don't think it really makes any sense for you all to go do it because Zachary's not here, but there is a VCR in the missile silo. And what other places might there be VCRs that we've seen?
Maybe it's at the office of the storage facility.
No. Loon Cabin
the
was
camp
one,
is closed, right?
but the camp's closed though. Yeah, and that we would have moved that out. So I think those are probably your only choices. Probably Vertex Electronica, Escondido Street, or Rodenbecker Street probably make the most sense. Who wants to make a decision about what do we think? Where are we going to watch it?
I'm down for
Vertex sounds good.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm down for Vertex.
Yeah, I think so too.
So then
we could
you can search there. You can also investigate it while you're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So Shane and Taylor, are you both going to be at Vertex Electronica watching the tape and kind of looking around while you're watching the tape as well? That sounds great to me. Amber, you are at Los Ojos for tonight. Let's talk about... You can attempt to answer a question if you want to. I don't know what questions there are to
I would like to answer the question of who is Adafoy and why is he doing this?
What's your theory?
Mm.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that with the others. It's got to be a team effort. I think my theory is that it's Tim.
Oh, that Tim Crayley was
And-
Adafoy.
Yeah, exactly, and that he already sacrificed the original Stick Society, and now for some reason he needs new victims to do something.
Why? I guess the thing that we have to like include in this answer is why was Adafoy, because Adafoy demonstrated they did not want you messing with Zagreus. Like, what was the reason for that? I guess.
I'm sure we'll come up with something, right, guys?
Why don't we take a quick break? Let's take like a 10-minute
Yeah.
break. Okay, so the question here is, who is Adafoy 85 and why are they doing this? You get to remove them as a danger in the mystery by unmasking them and then either convincing them to let the situation go or otherwise neutralizing the threat they pose. I think that if you just are correct about Adafoy being, or Tim Crayley being Adafoy, I think you probably automatically do this because he's in jail, right? So Adafoy will be definitely off the board at that point. Does not resolve the Zagreus mystery. Just want to point that out. It's still unknown how to do that. So,
Michael pointed out to me when you guys were already on break that Jack had another theory.
Oh, okay.
I didn't remember. Maybe I wasn't here that day,
Yes.
but I'd like to also hear that.
So my initial theory was that Hutch Langley was Adafoy.
Oh, that's right, Hutch Langley. Yeah.
That he had been raised from the dead. But I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I could tie some stuff together. But the initial theory was that Hutch Langley had been brought back to life, or had not been brought back, but had come out of the earth back to life, fueled by his own unrest. And so obviously the Walkman sort of pointed to that identity. The article about the 3 types of restless dead, the Adafoy being unburied. Hutch Langley was never buried. He was never found. He was just sort of left for dead wherever he died. The containing the well-preserved heart and the Sears shoebox. I think my theory was that was his heart. He had somehow kept it there as sort of like a vessel to, his phylactery, if you will. But now with the other clues that have been introduced, I'm not certain. I mean, maybe because he's part of the original Stick Society, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe there's something in the photo, in this sort of dot matrix photo, that points to there maybe being like some entity around him or some sign that points to his own tie to the occult or to, the kind of magic that might be able to do this. I don't know, but I'm open to ideas.
Or maybe
that was just where I was going with it.
Maybe Zagreus, the machine itself, is trying to tell us that he is still somehow alive, and that's why I printed out the picture. And maybe the gymnasium, the burned down gymnasium, maybe that's where he used to train Hutch Langley. The cabinet was built with wood salvaged from the burned down La Fresca High gymnasium. Maybe
so I
some kind of sports where
I actually have an alternate thing using that in the first clue with Rachel. So my idea is that the sacred desert tree was Rachel and Hutch's like lover's tree, and like they carved their initials into it or what have you. And so that has sort of been embedded in that machine. Rachel coming to FG, telling him where to find Zagreus, is sort of this like Oedipus and the other broad, I forget. But yeah, the sort of like lovers who are like separated by death, sort of saying, and like, you know,
Oh, you
her
mean
sort of
Orpheus and Eurydice?
Orpheus, yes, thank you.
Mm.
Who was the other one though?
Eurydice.
Orpheus and
Eurydice.
Eurydice,
I don't
yeah,
know the English Eurydice in German.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Eurydice in English.
Eurydice.
But yeah, the sort of similar parallels between that, but like the idea that like there's the two of them are so tied up in their love and in the machine, it's now sort of embedded within the actual console of this machine now. I don't know. That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, and maybe the tree, even though it doesn't exist anymore, was also present in the photo of the teenagers back then. Picture.
Oh, like it
in
was
the
taken
desert.
there?
Maybe there was a tree. Yeah.
Oh, so the photo was of it was of them by the tree. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
I mean,
nice. I mean, just for fluff.
Yeah, I mean, I do. There's an interesting question of like even because you still don't know how to resolve this mystery, and presumably there's going to be another question at some point.
True, so we should leave some clues.
You might want to leave some clues, like how pressing is
Maybe.
it that you even figure out who Attaboy 85 is at this point? I mean, like
Oh yeah, there's only four. There's I've also just thrown everything at it, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you can
like-
scale it back a bit if you want.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you only
Let's leave some.
you have enough. I mean, it's I mean, I guess like I don't know, like what is the compelling case here for who Attaboy is and why they're doing this? Like that's still like not like even just setting aside the clues, like we just imagine there were no clues. Why is like who is Attaboy and why are they trying to like why are they trying to like warn you off of Zagreus, like to stop investigating Zagreus, to stop looking
Okay,
into
I've
it?
got an
And-
idea here.
Okay.
So, I mean, I agree we don't have to solve it today, but I would like to propose an alternative candidate, and that's actually the police officer you encountered last time. I don't
Oh,
know
Deputy
her
Flores.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm into it.
intriguing.
because I did manage to watch your episode when I was away, so just before we started, and it was so interesting to see her like succumb to the influence of the machine of the arcade.
It seems like
And
she knew a lot more than she was letting on, right?
yeah, and she
Yeah.
had a history with it, you
Mhm.
know, and maybe she was trying to warn other people, and in its she was going to Rodenbecker Street. She was there for a reason in a meeting Shane.
Mhm.
She didn't drive by chance, and maybe she's on the original. She's on the picture that was printed out as well.
Oh, she's in the picture of the Stick
Mm.
Society. Oh,
Into it,
very
into it.
Yeah, and then
interesting.
she tried to burn the arcade down, but then when she entered the arcade, she couldn't resist anymore but play.
She knows the
know?
power of it. She knows the power of it and is trying to. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
Maybe-
That's
I
intriguing.
like that.
Maybe her maiden name is Euretha. Maybe she's related to Rachel.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so like, oh, that's really interesting.
I like it.
So Rachel came to Ephraim and told him where to find the Zagreus. So it's interesting because Rachel wanted Ephraim to find the Zagreus cabinet, but it sounds like Renita did not want anyone to find the Zagreus cabinet. And so what is the story there? Like, why would the missing Stick Society people want that? Like, how come Hutch, Langley, and Rachel in their own way are kind of quote unquote reaching out while Renita is trying to suppress?
She wants the top score.
She doesn't want anyone to beat their
She don't
score.
want anyone getting the better score than her. She's always had the top score.
What does top score mean in this
I
instance?
don't know.
Like
She
the
beat it. She
favor
was
of the
the only
favor of
one
the
who ever
king,
beat it.
Yeah, maybe.
the favor of the
Yeah.
occluded king, possibly.
Yeah.
Like, did she make them all go missing because she wanted the favor of the occluded king, and so, you know, she doesn't need, like this is her way of
Maybe.
claiming.
Yeah. Maybe
Or maybe
that's,
the others,
maybe. Oh, go on.
Yeah.
and maybe the others just disappeared after playing and failing at it too long.
I'm wondering, like, to me it's really interesting that like you would get this. I think we could add like an interesting context to the kids the kid's
heart?
shoebox, the heart, and
Yeah.
say that the shoebox has the initials of one of the other missing kids, like so, like maybe Dieter Hoskins or Finn Carlson. It's
Yeah.
like it's theirs, indicating that it's their heart.
Yeah.
In which case you would have something, you would have contact from Rachel, from Hutch, and from the third kid, we'll say Finn Carlson.
Yeah.
And like they're essentially trying to like make Zagreus, like, they want you to engage with it. They want you to engage with Zagreus. They want you to play it. They want you to know. Whereas Deputy Torres, aka Atafoy, if that's what we're going with, does not. It like is trying to suppress it. And I think we just need to figure out like what is the fundamental reason for that, and that basically answers the question, right? Like why is she trying? Why are they at cross purposes?
I mean, I think that I think it's, I may sound silly, but I think that she wants the big score. She wants to be top dog. She wants the favor of the king.
Having the top score equals having the favor of the occluded king. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's
That's why
the
she
one
didn't
who,
go missing,
that's what, yeah. Like she made them go
Because she
missing.
made everyone else missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone go
Yeah.
missing. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Ooh.
It also, weirdly, like Michael said, it was probably not a mistake that she was there when Tim Crayley was stalking around Rodenbecker Street, because Tim Crayley is the one who, like, Tim Crayley was there, like worked at the Me and My Self storage where the Zagreus was. Tim Crayley was probably just like a complicating factor. Maybe Tim Crayley helped disappear the other kids with Renita.
That could be fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Because remember the shoebox with the heart was found at the self storage as well, right? So it all feels pretty good. That is interesting to me. That's a really interesting angle.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Or maybe she sacrificed the others to the occluded king in order to beat the levels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She got the top score back in the day. I like and I really do like the idea of Tim Crayley having been in on it from the beginning. Like,
yeah, I do too. Yeah,
like, his thing and his self storage thing is like, it has some kind of, like,
because would he be around their same age if they were still alive?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So maybe it was a sort of like thing of like, teenage love or infatuation, and
there's a real interesting open question about who was hunting who, like with the Tim Crayley and Renita Torres situation, right?
Yeah.
Like
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if we rewound like 15 minutes before Shane got there, would we have seen Deputy Torres already there?
That was the thing, is the cops were already on the way. Like Shane hadn't had a chance to call the police. And so
that's such a good like in a horror movie twist,
It is a horror movie twist. Yeah, Deputy Torres being it's really interesting.
Did Ash play the game? I forgot.
Ash never played it. Yep.
Oh, damn, that would have been cool.
That would have been perfect. Yeah, because it would have been like,
she saw him as a threat, and
but she might generally see the Latchkeys as a threat, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing,
the thing.
Yeah.
And Ash was just the first one.
Yeah. Okay, so this is really good. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a flat roll if somebody wants to make that roll.
I'm not going to make that
Not
roll.
Shane.
So
I'm gonna roll. I'm
yeah,
gonna
thank you,
roll.
Michael. Thank you. Please do that
Please.
now.
And that's a 6.
A 6. It was all wrong.
I will turn a key.
Yeah, me too.
I will turn a key.
Me
All
too.
right. Everyone's getting their that wish from 3 sessions ago about turning keys has been
Oh, that was my
aggressively
wish. Yeah,
met.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Digging in there, aren't you?
Is everyone turning a key to make this happen?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, very
of
good.
course.
Yeah.
You are correct, and you now have the ability to either, what does it say here? Confronting them or otherwise neutralizing the threat they pose. So you can do that whenever you want to do it. It's but you know a lot now. Renita Torres being the Attafoy 85 is a big deal, and it's big. It's a big thing. Okay, fantastic. Let's keep going. So pressing forward with our dusk phase here, you've answered the question. Shane and Taylor, are you still going to Vertex Electronica to watch the tape?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Amber, you're at Los Ojos de los Muertos, so there's no we know what you're doing. If anyone wants to resolve a key prompt now, they can do so, or you can wait till later. Some people still have to do the Key of the Palace as well.
I think I'll do that one now.
Okay, go ahead.
Me too.
And
After.
at this point, I have to admit, as a character, well, as a player, I wish I would have played as well, but maybe like in a later session, there's a station option to play Zagreus. I think the dream. What's the exact phrasing? Of the occluded king, Amberhead was her being. It was actually a dream, like a recent dream, like she felt the pull of Zagreus, and she didn't go there on purpose because, like, few nights ago rather, she dreamt being in a vast desert, like field of bones, and there was no one to be seen, and at some point we get tremors, there's rumbling, and a huge throne appears, and the occluded king sits upon it, and he gestures at her and lets her know to come over, and presents her a place at his side. So he's tempting her to join him.
I'd also like to narrate that prompt. So, in her dream, Taylor is actually watching TV. She is watching TV Odyssey. And is the English term when the picture is running? Like, you know, when there's bad...
yeah, like
this...
Yeah, we have a name for it. I don't know what it is though. I can't remember.
Like tracking, or
it's like the tracking is off, or like TVs haven't done this in decades, so I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, you know, okay. So the image is distorted, let's say. And while she's watching in the stream, she suddenly sees a throne room with a king on its throne, wearing a bramble crown. And when she looks closer, she sees that there are people on the floor of this throne room crawling towards the king. And she scooches closer to the TV to make out the details, and she sees that the people crawling on the floor, every single one of them is her father. And she moves away from the TV, and the picture starts like doing the thing we don't know the word for again. And she imagines that the face of the Bramble King, when he lifts his head, is that of her mother.
Nice. Let's talk about the Odyssey tape. I want my video beat. This tape, this is on line 57 of The Keeper. This tape is an episode of Video Beat, a show that plays music videos. People who remember Video Beat can never quite recall the names of any of the bands or songs featured on the show, only that they were obscure. In fact, the bands do not exist and have never existed. Any attempt by the Latchkeys to do an internet search for the bands featured in this episode will fail to find any information. The episode opens on the host and VJ Raygun Rosales breakdancing in a room decorated with Memphis-designed wallpaper and chairs. Raygun's shtick is to announce the name of the upcoming video and then blast the screen with his raygun fingers, an action accompanied by cheesy laser blaster sound, at which point the screen fades to white and the video plays. The first video will be Jack. The second video will be Michael. The third video will be Natasha. And I will do the fourth video. Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back. We'll have a pretty snappy night phase. Mostly just watching the video. In the interest of time, we're just going to do the tape, and I will tell you the next day phase or the next time we meet, Amber especially, kind of what you discovered out at Los Ojos. And so we begin with Raygun Rosales. Kick us off, Jack.
Raygun Rosales pointing those finger guns, and as we are fading to white, we fade into another scene. It is, looks to be like someone's very modest stage setup, but there's like a little lamp post. There's a hand-painted backdrop of the cityscape in the background, but it's not the most well done. But because it's VHS, the quality kind of like balances out everything. But we see in front of all of this, we see at least a 10-piece band, all dressed up in these vibrant, lurid looking zoot suits with exaggerated shoulder pads and flared out trousers. All the band are done up to the nines in these shocking colors, and they've all got some form of either afro or jerry curl or wave in their hair. The lead singer, Marvin Stray Cat Struthers, he wears these flashy cat eye sunglasses, and as they strut about on this sort of makeshift street, we see that as they start singing about these Puss in Boots, there are a trio of beautiful and very scantily clad women, all dressed in this sort of lingerie, very 80s looking lingerie, very lacy. But what's unusual about them is that they're all sort of like these human cat hybrids, very fashionable, very sexy. You know, they're high heels, but they've got claws, they've got muzzles with whiskers, they've got ears, and they're all sort of prowling about, rubbing up on the band, rubbing up on Marvin. And when the breakdown of the song comes on, when you're supposed to do the Puss in Boots dance song, these red lasers start to flash out, and they flash out against the band, and the three dancers, they start to panic. They go crazy. They see these red dots, and they begin to tear and claw at each of the band members. backing track continues to play, but it's quite a stark contrast to the screams and the terrified yelps and the running of the band as they are torn and thrashed and shredded by the clawed and fanged women. And the camera pans up to the moonlight, and we can hear the last lingering saxophone as we cut back to Mr. Reagan Rosales, and he says, "Wasn't that a hoot?"
It's time for our next video.
Pew, 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 pew.
So the next video is by Copenhagen, a soft rock band from Germany, and basically they're a married couple, Bernd and Gabriele. It's a knockoff of the Carpenters, basically, in terms of sound and the way they're dressed and look. And their song Pillow Whispering features them walking around a city that you can't really put your finger on where it's supposed to be. It looks, in terms of architecture, it could be Vienna, it could be Paris, it could be let's say Prague, but then there are canals as well, and we see them on a little boat going down a cavern that turns out to be like the catacombs of Paris. You see skulls in the walls, and they end up while the music is lovely, like Carpenter's music, very easy listening, and they end up in a vast cavernous space where there's a picnic blanket and lovely pillows, and they lie down, and when the camera zooms out, it's a field of bones.
All right. The third video is from The Ulterior, a new wave band featuring the song Saturday You and Me. Something is a little off about The Ulterior. What is it? Okay, the song Saturday You and Me is a rather synthesizer heavy music video, and we see the classic cut to the band and then cut to some scene. And the scenes are vaguely romantic, or maybe they should be romantic. Like, there's always a couple doing regular Saturday fun couple activities like brunch and the park and a picnic and maybe some champagne and even rolling around in their beds together. But one of the couple is always one of the musicians, and like when the video cuts to the band, they're all still wearing some kind of work attire. Like, one of them has a suit and a little, what's it called? You have the leather, a briefcase.
Briefcase, yeah.
Yeah, has a leather briefcase, and even when he's frolicking around in bed with his Saturday date, he still has the briefcase in his hand. And another one is wearing a lab coat, and they're strolling through the park and having a romantic picnic. But he never smiles, and he always has his safety goggles on. And it doesn't feel like a romantic Saturday at all. Feels more like working people forced to pretend it's a romantic Saturday.
All right, folks, we're just about done with this block of video beat, but I've got one more to show you. This is something brand new from a band called Pyramid. Here's Embrace the Void. Pew, 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 pew. The fade to white actually fades to black. It just sits on a black screen for probably a solid minute with no music playing, no other video. It's eventually interrupted by sound. Again, not music. A woman's voice. It seems to be a teacher beginning a class. And again, you don't see anything, you just hear it. Okay, everyone, go ahead and take your seats. All right, good. Mark off your name on the roster, on the roll. Good, thank you. Now, let's go ahead and pick up our discussion from last week. We were talking about King Lear, and I think it's really important to understand the relationship between King Lear and his daughter Cordelia. Yeah. Jenny, did you need something? Jenny, why don't you go ahead and sit back down, hun? Okay. Robert, please sit back down. Why are you standing up? Michael, Andrew, Elizabeth, what would you all, is this some kind of joke? Would you all please sit back down so we can continue class? Oh, okay, now you're all standing up. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but you all need to take your seats so that we can begin class. Where are you going? Excuse me, where are you all going? I'm gonna call Principal Martinez if you don't all get back in your seats now. Hello? Excuse me. Her voice fades as she calls out to these kids, and we hear their footsteps in the hall. Again, black screen. We hear their footsteps. We hear the opening of a door. We hear the echo of a stairwell as each of the kids climbs up the stairs. Sounds like there's about 20 sets of feet going up these stairs. Crum, 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 crum. We can hear the wind. And then the black screen shows an image finally. A rooftop. All the kids are lined up along the edge of the building. The camera pulls in tight to the face of one of the young women who says, "Embrace the void." And then all of the kids fall face first off the building. I want my video beat, my video beat. Ba 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 ba. Video beat. But there's something else. At the very end of the tape. It's a laboratory or an office of some sort. A person wearing a ridiculous lab coat, standing next to a Zagreus machine. They wave at the viewer, and then they point down dramatically at the Zagreus machine. The camera pulls in tight to the controls, and they input a sequence of commands on the joystick and buttons. Down, up, right, left, A, B, start. That ends the video and our phase. Let's go to the dawn. If you have keys to resolve, you could do it next time at the top of the session. So be thinking about your backstory or whatever other things you need to tell us. Let's just go straight to answering dawn questions. You do not resolve a mystery yet. You're all entitled to get signals from the other side, though. You might not have had much of a chance to, but if you did, let me know.
I did narrate the Field of Bones, just like an Ember Stream.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I like that very much. You can definitely take that. Any other? Very well. Let's keep going. Taylor, did you share a good memory from your childhood?
I don't think so.
Were you vulnerable with someone?
Wait a second, wasn't there something? No, that was just a narration of the game. Nope.
Hmm. Amber, did you share a good memory from your childhood?
I don't think so.
Did you deliver a chilling monologue about something that happened to you in the past? I don't remember a chilling monologue.
No.
We suck this.
Shane, were you vulnerable with someone? I would say so, with your brother. Yeah. Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
I think so. Going back to Galaxia.
Yeah. I don't know if you went out of your way to do that, though. That was part of the
I guess so, yeah.
it's part of the mystery. There was not there were not too many other things to go do.
Yeah.
Love all that. We can do the key prompts next time. And so if we have if anybody has to go, you can go. But if we got a few minutes to do Stars and Wishes, I would love that. So let's do Stars and Wishes with our session getting Shane officially into the Latchkey Club and everything else. Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
Well, yeah. I definitely liked a lot that was going on in the session. I thought the sort of an introductory scene, sort of setting up everything else with Amber and Shane and Taylor was fun. Especially liked Michael, your sort of depiction of having Amber not having been around for a day, and just sort of like being wandering and aimless, and having her crying in her hearse in the driveway, dealing with the death of her brother. And I think it's also kind of like tied nicely into sort of like the solo, going into the desert on your own sort of investigation. I think it just sort of makes sense having her a little bit isolated right now, given everything that she's sort of dealing with and felt. I liked Taylor at the arcade. Thank you for being the only one, I think, to get anything higher than an 8 today. But yeah, the playing the video game was fun. I really like the paint the screens. I thought it was a very cute idea, and sort of as a wish, I guess, looking forward to seeing what the rest of the levels and what the rest of the game has for us. And I really loved our theory with Renita being just a murderer because she's super competitive. But no, there's just like this like sort of 80s teen slasher angle to it, but there's also like this like weird occult angle with the Occluded King and her obsession with him, and the like weird possible like killing for infatuation or love or something. We don't really know yet, but I like the idea of Renita and Tim having been tied together in some way, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out. And yeah, other than that, hopefully we'll have a table with everybody at some point, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more into this with Shane.
I have a star for the answer question, which I really enjoyed. I was actually like initially like kind of thinking like, what do we even really need to answer this question? Because Attafoy hasn't been that much of a threat lately, and like, is it worth, I was thinking a lot, like, is it worth burning the clues on? But it wasn't really my decision to make, but I was thinking about that. But I'm really glad we did, because I actually really love the answer. I think it like really made the story of Zagreus come together in a really, really cool way. And so my associated wish is, yeah, I hope you all are able to finish the secret levels. I really am curious to see what you're all going to do with this new information after watching the tape at Vertex Electronica and seeing somebody at Vertex trying to send you a message from the past, apparently. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, star for the I love all of Amber's like would-be girlfriends that are kind of happening in the in the story, like between Missy Von Donut and the grease monkey at the garage, and like that whole weird like side thing is intriguing to me, and I'm curious to see if anything will ever come of it. I agree with Jack though about like Amber's sort of like feeling isolated and being isolated from the group. It makes a lot of sense in the story, and I like how that's kind of playing out. Um, I also really enjoyed Taylor's interactions with FG. I thought that was really funny. Just like that sort of like that just kind of sniping at each other and stuff, and that was really good fun. And star for the dice, I guess. The dice were being like the dice were here for the drama. They were like that's what was going on. I quite liked all of the various paint the screens and paint the scenes that happened. I thought everyone's descriptions of things were really nice, and they did a good job fleshing things out. And I continue to enjoy Shane's like introduction into the story. Like it's almost like it's really very much a kind of like Ash was like the Janet Leigh, and Shane is like the other actress who's not Janet Leigh in Psycho. I can't remember her name. Like who shows up like midway, to like to do the proper story, the proper protagonist there. So that was all really good fun. But again, big star for the sort of Zagreus and Tim Crayley and Rita Torres, like all that stuff it's just super cool. Like I just love all that. It was a great twist, and it just it's really, really fun. And I'm having a lot of fun, and particularly in this campaign, having a lot of fun, like kind of going into like the lore of the setting, like the stuff with the wolves and the king and all this other stuff, like, and kind of more like immediately and directly tying all that stuff into the story. And it's been really fun. So yeah, it's a good time.
Yep. I really enjoyed the vulnerable scene between Shane and Amber. And yeah, paint the screen was a fun idea. I also enjoyed that, and I could like see it in front of me as if I was playing the game myself. And I also enjoyed the scene with Amber at the garage and the weird guy. What's his face? I don't remember the name, but I don't need a ride to where you're going. Straight to hell. I love that sentence. It's just so stupid. And I enjoyed that we all had a scene together, even if it was really sad. And I feel that we got to know all the characters a little bit better, especially Amber. And I remember that she said that she'd never seen a dead body before, like that. So that was a great way to see her first dead body. Yeah. So I am really interested in seeing where that's going. And Shane is just cool. I'm as a player, I'm into her, so that's fun. And Odyssey tapes are always great.
All right. Yeah, I'm really happy how we continued the story, because I was kind of worried how to frame it, because it's a difficult topic, you know, like a friend dying, and how do you convey it? And I think we handled it quite well. And I liked the scene around that, and how everyone was coping, and Taylor saying, "Oh, I can be nice. I'll make tea. I'll call the cops. I'm responsible." And seeing Shane in that situation and in the aftermath, it was really interesting. So that was definitely a highlight, because I really didn't know how to convey, well, on the one hand, that she wasn't around, but it makes perfect sense that she can't bring herself to tell the others, and she's just avoiding them, and then Shane being there, and then she can actually. So I like that connection. And then seeing you guys at the arcade, and it's not going well, but that was really entertaining. And I was thinking, okay, we need Zach back, or someone else to try it as well. But the way it kept failing, and the way you're getting at each other's throat, or FG's throat, that was very entertaining. And I really, really liked how you once again made it all feel connected, Jason. Like, I think Charlie is his name, being Tim's brother. That was quite interesting. And he also hinting at Officer Barker, which is a very interesting figure. And even though nothing comes of it, or maybe that's foreshadowing, I'm happy either way. Yeah, and I really liked the Odyssey tape, especially like the last scene. That was so haunting. And in terms of wishes, I thought, well, if um, if Taylor isn't sure who they might encounter as a deceased character, it could be Ash coming back to answer questions. That
That
would
would
be
be
really
intriguing.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
was
yeah,
actually thinking that as well.
cool. Yeah, and I think I'd like to see Nikki again, because I like that dynamic. And maybe it's time to settle.
Yeah, yeah. Are we gonna get the Amber Missy Von Donut Nikki love triangle thing going
Oh.
Amber
on?
Lemon,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. Shane could get involved if Shane wasn't married. Shane's married though, so yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta, gotta, gotta
Different
stay.
time zones, you know.
Ah.
Do you have a hall pass for like for
Yeah,
a
exactly.
hall pass for cute goth chicks?
Exactly.
Um, Fantastic. Any other stars and wishes? Also, I'll put a wish out for. I'll be excited to have Zachary back. Have the whole group together would be great. So actually, this always happens near the holidays, so it's no big surprise. But I'm just happy that we've been able to keep it going despite that. So yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Yeah, my wish is
I forgot to
that.
mention. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say my wish is that that Rob comes back and Zach plays, and he just like demolishes
Yeah.
Gladius. Like he just like
That would be
rolls nothing
so
but
good.
10s and 11s.
Or maybe we'll all
him.
just die playing this game because
Zagreus
we're
is
running out
hard.
of keys.
Yeah, Zagreus like drains your keys. Like you have to be really careful with it. Yeah.
I just love the idea of him being like too cool for school hipster dude, but then he just comes in and like slams it. It's like he's really the closet nerd, and then he outs himself by just playing this game amazingly.
Or maybe he can get Claire to play it.
The ongoing storyline of Zachary being the one character who's most wrapped up in all the like nerdy stuff is like really, really funny. Like I continue to love that.
Yeah.
Also, star to you, Jason, for your 8-bit drowning noises. That was really good.
Yeah. You're really good with the noise, the background noises. I'll never forget the shutter being drawn.
Really storage unit, yeah.
What I forgot to mention was that I was also very intrigued by the homeless guy's narration of the guy in the closet and like getting Tim to do creepy shit and whatnot. And what I was thinking that Officer Barkley, what's
Barker.
his name? Barker. I mean, maybe that was a hint to the deputy being
Might have been. Yeah, who knows?
involved.
I don't know. Who knows? There's a lot. Suddenly, like making Renita Torres Attaboy 85 has so many weird implications for the story. Like it really, like
Yeah.
it really like puts tentacles out into the story in a way that I never foresaw. So I guess that's what's cool about Answer a Question. So
Yeah. Oh yes, an additional wish. I'd like to see her again.
oh yeah, I have a feeling we're not done with Renita Torres. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
She's still out there, I guess.
she's still out. Yeah, she's still doing her
She
job.
didn't arrest herself, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's end with the scene. The Wanderer, the big man, alleged angel, walking in the desert. The sun is high in the sky, bright and hot. He looks very bad. The flesh of his face hangs in long, saggy flaps. His eyes are milky and occluded. His cowboy hat is nowhere to be seen. Most distressing, perhaps, is that all of his bulk is no more. Now he is just a tall, gaunt, yellow thing wandering the waste, a king of ghouls. He walks to the yawning mouth of a cave, and he cries into the blackness of the cave, "Come forth, if you must, great hunger, devil of the ancient world, render of flesh. You have followed the signal to this place, followed it home. Show yourself. Show yourself, ye wolf, and do what thou wilt." And then approaching from inside the cave, in a beautiful Dior silhouette skirt and pink blouse and perfectly coiffed blonde hair, is Paula Palmer. She's holding a large casserole dish in her hand. And she stops, hitting her mark perfectly, looking into the camera and smiling. She says, "It's dinner time, and it's time to serve the children." And we cut there. I will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.